the 2011 New South Wales AMP Innovation Awards is Colmax Glass.
I don't think I dared to allow myself to think what this would mean to me until I was here, because I didn't want to jinx things. So I also thought a lot about a speech, but refused to put a single word on paper, also for fear of jinxing things, which maybe that wasn't such a good plan now. So bear with me if I get things out of order. First of all, I'd really love to thank both Telstra and AMP for hosting and sponsoring this award. Everybody says that, we're supposed to say that, I know, but really, for me, building a business from nothing, or trying to build a successful business from nothing, is a big deal, and it's hard work. There were plenty of times along the way where not only did I think, why did we start this, but quite a few times it was like, I wish we really hadn't. So, unlike in this country, there's a lot of kudos goes to sports people and entertainers and the such like. It's really, really, really nice, and I really appreciate that there's a company out there putting itself out there, spending the money, investing the time to have an award for people doing business. So I really appreciate that, because it's really nice to have some external sort of, pat on the back and that kudos to keep you going. A little bit about Colmax. When you put out your recycling, your sort of papers and plastic and newspaper and bottles and aluminium cans and all the rest of it, you probably assume, as I used to assume, that that goes somewhere and is all utilised going back into products. And while that is true of most of what goes in your recycling bin, unfortunately, with more efficient methods of collection and transport to the recycling facilities, the one thing that really gets damaged in that process is the glass. It all gets broken. So whereas before it was very easy to manually just sort full bottles into the right colour and have it go back into bottles, these days most recycling facilities, anywhere between 20 and 40% of what they get in would go out as waste, because it's mostly fine broken glass mixed up with a whole host of things you would not believe, things that I'm sure none of you here would ever dream of putting in your recycling, like satay sticks and bottle tops and all sorts of crap. We take that crap. In fact, people pay us to take that crap. That's one of the great business elements of what we do. And we transform that into a product, and here's the innovation. We can now make that into a sufficiently well-graded, consistent product that it can go back into bottles. So our logo is closing the loop on bottle recycling. So glass is a fantastic product. You wouldn't want to be without it. It is the best way of packaging things. It's 100% recyclable if you get it right, and what we do makes it right. So we've grown in the last 5 years from one tiny little plant that could process about 250 tonnes a month. We've now got plants in 4 states, and we're capable of doing about 100,000 tonnes a year. And that's 100,000 tonnes that would otherwise be in landfill. So we're pretty proud of all those achievements. Couldn't have done it without a few very key people, and I've got to say thank you to a couple of people who couldn't be with us tonight. Peter Breed, who's our Chief Operations Officer, and Susan Rousselot, who's our Chief Strategy Officer. Both of them came from sectors where they commanded much bigger pay than we can afford to pay them, but came on board, sort of living the dream, believe in what we do, and we couldn't have done what we've done without them. The same is true of all the rest of our employees, and indeed many of our suppliers who, in the strains of growing a business with capital constraints in this environment, often get paid a bit late, so we're sorry about that, but we will pay you, and thank you for being supportive along the way. And last but, one other message before I do my final thank you is one of the things I love about our business is that when you think of being green and clean tech and being environmentally friendly, a lot of people, it kind of comes with a cost. You sort of have to be prepared to wear a hair shirt or change your behaviour and do all of these things, and you can't make money out of that kind of stuff. So one of the things I like to promote about our company is that it's a company who's in the green space, is doing a great thing for the environment, but also making money. And that, to my mind, is what makes it a sustainable business. And as my husband has reminded me, another body we really absolutely should thank, because we couldn't have done it without them, is the Australian Packaging Covenant, which is a great industry government cross-body that is set up to basically promote recycling and reduce the amount of packaging that goes to landfill, and without grants from them we wouldn't have been able to build the plants that we've built. So finally, my last thank you, and in fact it's not even a thank you because that's too paltry a word for what I need to say. I want to pay homage to my husband. You don't get too many opportunities in what we do to stand up publicly and talk about your spouse, your life partner, your partner in business, and really, he's the engineer. This is his award. Without him, we would not be the innovative company we are. He's not just an engineer, he's also an entrepreneur, he's an amazing guy, and I might be the coal in Colmax, but he certainly puts in the max.